Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of Limited Issues. My name is Logan Huntley, and with me, my co-host.
Wow, full name?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I changed my name on YouTube, so every time I comment, they know.
I'm React's Chainsaw. I'm a fake. People know that I fake my videos.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
You watch everything beforehand and script your reactions.
I script.
Yes.
That makes it even more detailed. Like, I know exactly at this time mark, at a minute 45, I need to go, holy shit face.
You have Shelby standing behind the computer
holding key cards. Get ready. Big moment happening. Thanos about to pop out with the Infinity Gauntlet and Wolverine's claws. Get ready to hype the shit up.
It'd be so nice if he actually scripted that way. I didn't have to listen to him like, oh my god, I fucked up again.
I fucked up. I hate doing the intros are the worst, I swear. Anyways, we're here with the third episode of Limited Issues.
Yes.
We have a few things to discuss, but first...
What have you been up to?
Well, still breathing, thankfully.
Yes.
I had a health scare.
I saw a little of that.
Again, I had some pain around my heart, and it was constant. Every couple of days or so for a little while, I've had this pain, but it wouldn't last long to go away, and I felt maybe it's like gas or something. I just didn't think anything of it, and then it really hit Tuesday. I went to urgent care. They did an EKG, which, you know, tests your heart or whatever. I'm not really sure what an EKG does. You would know more of that than I do.
Make sure it's pumping.
Make sure it's pumping, and okay, fine.
It makes sure you're not dead.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
Everything came back normal, and then the guy just slammed his hands in the middle of my chest. After he's like, oh, we haven't tried this, and he sticks his hands in my chest. He's like,
oh, I was picturing more of like a two-fisted punch.
He put one hand on my back and then put his other hand in the middle of my chest and just pushed his fingers in.
Oh, even without any pain or trouble, that would fucking hurt.
I know when he did that, and he's like, yeah, costochondritis. That's what it is. And so
What?
Costochondritis, inflammation of the chest.
Gotcha.
So I actually went to my doctor's for the first time Thursday. I almost said yesterday, Thursday, but and he asked questions. He's like, well, all the things you're telling me, it's not your heart. Like, trust me, if you had some serious heart problems, it would not be coming and going.
Right.
You would be. Oh yeah.
Right.
So he gave me taking to a leave in the morning, evening, Tylenol in the afternoon or something if I need it.
That's like different but similar. If you're injured and you can't tell if something's broken, it means probably nothing's broken.
Yeah, because you would tell.
Because you would know.
Yeah. So I survived. Thankfully, well, I'm surviving so far. Other than that, I mean, just the Arrowverse shows are back, so I'm getting back into the groove of reacting and then having to edit until 12:30 when the video can go up finally. Other than that, I mean, nothing. It's just been just sticking with YouTube. Yep. Doing what I normally do. What about you, sir?
Well, I turned 22 this past Monday.
Happy birthday to you.
Pretty much everything between being able to buy alcohol and being able to rent a car, to me, are kind of meaningless birthdays, so I didn't really do much to celebrate.
You have a car. Let's rent another one.
I have, yes. Let's see, what else have I been up to? I began playing Bloodborne. For the first time.
Now, that is the PS4 exclusive, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I have that too.
I'm fucking terrible at it. I'm so bad at it.
It took me on and off playing the game about a month and a half before I got to the first boss. Because I kept screwing it up. I didn't realize, you kind of have to dodge roll everything.
I can't find any of my blood echoes. Every time I die, I go back to the place I died, and they're just not there.
That must be a glitch.
That might be a bug, yeah.
Yeah, because they should be there.
I maybe naively, I went in expecting to be just automatically be good at it because I've put maybe 200 hours into The Witcher 3.
Oh, okay.
And the combat system there is very similar. But it's just different enough in Bloodborne that I suck at it.
Like, there's like, as soon as you get up those flight of stairs and you turn right and then you go through a gate and then right past is like this giant guy with all these boxes.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried to fight him like 10 times. Not smart. Cause
I know exactly who you're talking about. He's kind of like big, round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like you have to go behind him. But even if you do that, good luck. And then there's like, and then a little bit further on when you get through all these like this town area, there's like this werewolf that just comes out of nowhere. And you have to fight him. Like, he'll follow you wherever you go. And it's like, Jesus, I can't get away.
I'm also really bad at memorizing maps in games. Just an example.
So you'll get lost.
Yes, it took me half an hour to figure out how to get out of the Hunter's Dream the first time I went there.
Jesus.
I was just running in that big circle trying to find the portal.
Oh, because
I couldn't fucking find it.
Because well, I'm in this one little small area. There's got to be a way out.
I'm like, oh, there's a door. Oh, it's locked. Okay, circle back around. Oh, there's another. Oh, it's the same door. Never mind.
I mean, it is a good hub to go to because there's nothing there to fight you.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what you're doing, you'll just be stuck.
Right.
It's like limbo. You're just stuck in limbo.
I watched the YouTube Red series called Wayne.
Now, you brought this up before we recorded.
Yes.
My first thought is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That's not what you're talking about.
Highly, highly recommended. Basic premise. If you've seen on Netflix a show called It's the End of the Fucking World.
I haven't seen it. Have you seen it? Okay,
Yes.
she's seen it.
It reminded me a lot of that show. Essentially, it's this 16-year-old kid named Wayne. He's from Brooklyn, I believe. His father dies. His mother took off with another guy when Wayne was a kid. But just before his dad died, he told Wayne about this car that he had that his mom stole when she ran off with her other boyfriend.
Yeah.
So, Wayne drops out of school. His mom and stepfather are in Florida. They're in New York. He drops out of school. He takes his new girlfriend, and they go on a road trip down to Florida to go get his dad's car. And on the way, I said he's sort of like the Equalizer in a sense because like impulsively, he can't help himself but to try and fix other people's problems.
Gotcha.
It's very, very good. I highly recommend it.
Okay. I've never heard of it. I
That's
honestly...
surprising with as how much you're on YouTube because for a while there, that was the only trailer I got.
I never seen
Yeah.
any of that. I mean, like, in terms of YouTube Red, I'm not really interested in YouTube Red. I just feel like I have so much other stuff that I have to, like, look at, like Hulu and Netflix, all that kind of shit. Like, I just don't think of YouTube Red as a place to go to look at streaming stuff. It's just, I don't know, not my thing.
We'll talk about this more in spoilers later, I imagine. We both watched the entirety of season 1 of The Umbrella Academy.
Oh, I highly recommend it.
Oh, it's so good.
I recommended it to a coworker of mine, and he's older, and he's like, he knows a lot about like the comic book history of DC and Marvel, and he's like, I've never heard of it. I'm like, I'm surprised, even though it's not Marvel DC. I'm like, I'm surprised he hasn't heard anything of it.
Apparently, it was written by a member of
Just lead singer.
My Chemical Romance.
Lead
yeah.
singer. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's
but
weird to me.
I think it's Dark Horse Comics, but like, he watched the first 2 episodes earlier this week, and he's like, dude, I love it. I'm like, just keep watching. It gets crazier. It gets more and more insane. Because at first it starts off kind of slow, but yeah.
Once it sets up the world and everyone's introduced, then it just goes off the rails. It's fucking bonkers. I really enjoyed it. Quick mini review. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 overall.
Yeah.
I had a few very minor complaints and one major one, but overall, I highly recommend it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely get into spoilers and all that later.
Captain Marvel.
Yep.
I think we both saw.
Yep.
Anything else?
Captain Marvel. We got some topics here if you want to jump into some topics. Let's start off with this one. Idris Elba replacing Will Smith as Deadshot. Now, as far as I know, this is not 100% confirmed, but I mean the big trades have said that he's in talks to replace, and it looks like it's going to happen.
Now, when I heard Will Smith was done as Deadshot, I thought, great, perfect. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah,
he had his little arc in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I
don't need to see any more of that character. So instead, hey, how about, I don't know, maybe bring in Deathstroke since you're not using him.
I've been saying Joe Manganiello. He was in the post-credit scene of Justice League, and that's it.
That's it. Or not even Deathstroke. Maybe bring in, I don't know, at any number of other characters.
Now,
could just slot right in and be perfect. Because the Suicide Squad is constantly changing.
Now, did you hear about supposedly the list of characters that's going to be in the Suicide Squad movie?
All I know is that Harley and Deadshot are back.
Well,
kind of.
Harley hasn't been 100% confirmed. I mean, it looks like it's going to be happening. Let's see if I can find
I really thought they were going to change her look going forward, but if you saw that Birds of Prey tease, that clearly they haven't. So
it looks pretty much similar.
Yeah.
Let's see. Because there was a list of characters. Okay, so here we go. So Deadshot is one character that we can finally confirm returning.
Yeah.
And so it's looking at a soft reboot, but here's the list of others. So Peacemaker.
Who?
Peacemaker.
Who?
Okay. Ratcatcher.
Who?
Polka Dot Man.
Really?
King Shark.
Okay. I'm on board with that.
I don't think there's anybody else, but apparently Dave Bautista is apparently being looked at. Obviously, James Gunn did Guardians, and he brought Dave Bautista in.
Yeah.
It's looking like Peacemaker, who apparently, like, I'm not really familiar with the character.
I've never
has
heard
a
that
lot
name
of
before.
has a lot of tattoos and is a big guy, and apparently James Gunn is looking at Dave Bautista to play Peacemaker in the movie.
Okay.
So apparently we're going to be seeing a mini reunion of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
From the Guardians to Suicide Squad.
Does Peacemaker have any abilities or powers, or is he just a big guy?
It's a good question. I couldn't tell you. All I know is that Polka Dot Man is the
Right.
one that I'm really questioning things.
Who I know of Polka Dot Man. I don't know what he does. I don't know if he has any powers. I'm pretty sure there was maybe a Brave and the Bold episode that had him, and he could pull his polka dots off, and they would act like portals.
Or bombs.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those.
Or both, maybe. I can't remember.
I just think that the listing of characters is a little strange.
Yeah.
Because, okay, let's say it's Harley, Deadshot. Then you have King Shark, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
Polka Dot Man, Ratcatcher.
Well,
it
actually,
just sounds like half the team is characters
going to die.
Yeah, and other half is characters
you care about.
You actually want to. I don't know. I just feel like
unless
they're doing this as a way to say, okay, here's some of the characters, and then
Yeah.
we're also going to bring in Killer Frost. We're also going to bring in. Well, you can't say Killer Croc's in the first one, but I hope King Shark is a giant shark. He has to be.
Well, there are some versions of him that are just a big motherfucker with like metal teeth and a mohawk like a fin. That they might go that route because the Flash has him as an actual giant shark.
But the Flash is perfect with their designs, so just
then they couldn't just take that same design or anything too similar.
Well, they wouldn't do that, but I think that they should just do a shark.
Yeah.
Just do a shark.
But there are multiple different versions, and some of them is just a big guy.
I really hope it's not a big guy.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like, I feel like Killer Croc his design was just not good.
Why isn't Batista Bane?
That
that would be so perfect.
People have been saying they want Bane.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would be great.
I think
Because that's one thing the first Suicide Squad didn't have was a big motherfucker to intimidate people.
they could have had Killer Croc be that guy, but they
but
went
he
that
was
direction.
like 5'10".
The direction of him just being just a
An
scaly
ordinary
dude.
human just with a skin condition.
Yeah, basically.
In fact, as far as I could tell, I don't think he even had really augmented strength or anything.
I don't know because that movie was horribly put together based off many factors. But I think Idris Elba. I think that's an interesting choice because
that surprises me.
He has a different screen presence than Will Smith, so
Yes,
he's definitely going to bring a
so.
different approach to the character. Like I don't see them addressing the daughter with Idris Elba.
Yeah, but if you minor spoiler for Infinity War, I don't know who the hell would be listening to this who hasn't seen it, but at the very beginning, Heimdall, Idris Elba's character in the Thor movies, is killed.
Yeah.
I have never seen a man happier to die.
Because he was so underused in the
Yes.
MCU.
But I always got the impression it was just comic book movies in general that he didn't like doing.
I think it's because MCU... earlier they hired him earlier on in his career for the first Thor film.
Oh, that's true.
And back then, I don't think he was the powerhouse name that he is now. So, like, he was stuck in the contract. He just couldn't get out of it. So, they're like, well, okay. And so, I guess for him, I'm guessing he was looking at the script and seeing how Deadshot is probably going to live throughout the whole film.
Right.
How has a lot of screen time and how he's going to be a badass.
What if they sign him on and Deadshot, like, at the very beginning, he's like, I'm not doing this shit again. He tries to escape, and they just pop his head.
That'd be the worst thing ever, because why would they get Idris Elba to do that?
asses in seats, man.
It's like Polka Dot Man would be the guy to do that instead of freaking Deadshot. I mean, Slipknot died in the first 5 minutes.
That was the most telegraphed death I've ever seen in a movie.
You knew it was going to happen.
Like, every other character got their weird little baseball card intro.
He didn't.
He just literally is dropped off in a bag.
Yeah.
And then, I think less than 10 minutes later is dead.
Yeah, so he had nothing really to do.
Yeah.
So I think he knows he's going to have a lot of cool stuff to do. So that's why he's signing up for it, because he's actually going to do something versus just being in the background for the entire movie. That's
something else, though, with Batista's whoever Peacemaker is. Mm-hmm. If he is that character, that's bizarre to me to have such a big name play such an obscure character.
Well, also at the same time, I think the whole approach is that they did a bunch of characters people know from the comics in the first film that they're wanting to go a little bit of a different direction because because we don't know who they're fighting.
Right.
We don't know if they're fighting another batch of villains. Mm-hmm. I mean, that'd be really cool if like they announce another
go up against
another
different team.
Yeah, different team of villains or something.
That would be cool. And that would be a great way to actually introduce more well-known characters.
Yeah, because the way it's looking like now is DC is going in the direction of not having a lot of connectivity at first, but this could be their way to introduce Catwoman. Right. They could introduce they could, well, I mean, I don't know if they would do it because they're doing Birds of Prey, but they could bring in Huntress, and they could bring in Black Canary if they wanted to into the Suicide Squad movie, some sort of connectivity. But
is Catwoman going to be in Birds of Prey?
From what I've heard, I've not heard anything about her character.
Okay.
I've heard Renee Montoya, Cassandra Cain, Huntress, Harley Quinn, clearly.
Cassandra Cain, by the way, you might know this. In fact, I think I might have told you this. She's being played by Zuko's niece, Dr. Bosco, which is awesome.
Yeah, but like, apparently there's been some rewrites to her character, so I wonder how that's going to be played out. But like, I don't think she's clearly not going to be in the Batgirl suit.
Right.
She's going to be just Cassandra Cain.
As long as she is mute, pissed off, and just beats the shit out of some people, I will be satisfied with that.
Basically like X-23 and Logan.
Yes.
Except without claws.
Right.
Okay.
Because Cassandra Cain is one of my favorite Batgirls, one of my favorite little stories, in fact. I forget what it's called, but from the comics. Commissioner Gordon gets shot. You don't know who did it. Batman automatically assumes it's the Joker.
Yeah.
Gordon's in critical condition. Batman hunts the Joker like an animal and just beats the ever-living shit. He beats him into a coma.
Yeah.
So he almost kills him. Nightwing tries to pull him off. He cracks him, breaks his nose. But then, where was I going? Oh, right. Forgot where I was going with
Train
this.
of thought.
It's found out, for reasons that are unclear, Catwoman shot him.
Oh.
So then the whole Bat family, Bruce, they're like, dude, go see Jim Gordon. This might be the last time to see your best friend. Fucking go now.
Yeah.
We'll deal with this. So Batman goes and sits at his bedside, and the whole Bat family starts casing Gotham, trying to find Selina.
Yeah.
And Cassandra Cain, she has, just because she can't speak, she has a piece of paper with a picture of a cat and a picture of a woman. Mm-hmm. She just goes around random street-level thugs, just cracks them in the face, grabs their head, just does this until they tell her something.
Yeah.
Just look. Even in such a serious story, and it's not funny that people are mute, but funny things can be done with that characteristic. So yeah,
the fact that she was a cat and a person, just look at this, and they go, what?
And half the time they're like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what you want from me.
It's like, well, clearly just look at the paper.
Yeah,
I want a cat and a person. That's what I'm looking for. Come on. So yeah, I'm really interested to see because I think it's shooting in September, so I guess we have a little whiles to go before
Suicide Squad 2.
Well, they're calling it the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I can't remember the.
Well, as long as they don't call it the Ghost Initiative.
Let's not go down that road. Next up, let's get away from DC for a second.
Yes.
Disney Plus. The entire vault of Disney is going to be available on the platform.
That is shocking to me.
Bob Iger, a.k.a. the High Lord King at Disney.
Yeah.
Basically God over at Disney.
Yeah, who, by all accounts, is a grumpy old asshole.
I don't know, because, I mean, he seems like a pretty... he probably a grumpy old asshole behind the scenes.
Right.
But when he's in shareholder meetings and then talking to the public, going to screenings, he's like a happy, hunky-dory person. So he confirmed at a shareholders meeting that the entire vault at some point will all be available for Disney Plus subscription users. Like eventually the entirety, like stuff that we can't get access to or stuff that they sell, then they take away. It's all going to be available at some point once Disney Plus launches.
That's bizarre to me because it's always, for years and years now, it's been like an event when the vault is opened up for a temporary time
to release some certain movies.
Right.
You know, like
when what was it, Pinocchio was remastered on Blu-ray or whatever a few years ago,
and it came out.
Yeah.
Well, I think what their process is this is like, if you want, slowly getting up, it's okay, love you. Girlfriend hurt her back, and so she's trying to not make too much noise, and it's adorable. But I think the idea, I guess, is that streaming is the way to go.
Yeah.
People are gonna stop buying Blu-rays. Like apparently the biggest, like, is it Samsung or whatever, the biggest Blu-ray
probably yeah.
The biggest Blu-ray makers have stopped. Like, they're stopped production. They're not making any more new Blu-ray players.
Which I hate, because I get that everything is transitioning to be a digital platform.
Yeah.
But I love having a physical collection of things.
I do too. I mean, like, I have a huge stack of DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. But I mean, eventually it's all going to streaming, and I guess Disney's process as well. Eventually, we're not going to be paying to have these made for Blu-rays. We're not going to, I mean, I think it's pretty cheap to make a Blu-ray, but it's like the shipping and everything like that is too much, and now he's laughing uncontrollably.
Oh no, I just remembered something that's not really related.
Yeah.
So, Into the Spider-Verse won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars, right? Disney, they were absolutely certain that Wreck-It Ralph 2 was going to win.
They put out a tweet, didn't they?
I think they did, but they also had stickers printed. And they sent
Disney.
like millions to all the major retailers to put on the Wreck-It Ralph Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph 2 Best Animated Picture at the Oscars.
Oh my god. Now, understandable if it said, like, you know, if it was nominated.
Right.
But it didn't. It says best animated.
They were so sure it was going to win.
Well, the Into the Spider-Verse, like, changed a lot of people's perspective on animated films because of how different it was. But
it's just fucking hilarious
I guess
to me.
The process is that shipping and everything with all those Blu-rays and DVDs is just not going to be cost effective.
Right.
So Disney's going all in with new shows, new movies. Like they're making the Sword in the Stone live action for Disney Plus.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're doing Lady and the Tramp for Disney Plus.
Live action
animated hybrid, but they have actual dogs.
Right.
But I guess there are gonna be some CG elements to make it, you know.
The reason I go to that is, one, I'm not really a big fan of the original in the first place, and two, I really wish Disney would stop with the live action remakes for a while.
They got to, man. It's the way to go.
Yeah.
But then having the entire vault makes sense because right now, if you go to Netflix, at least in the United States for us, you can watch the animated films. You can watch Hercules. You can watch Mulan. You can watch these films, but then eventually they're all gonna be pulled from Netflix.
Yeah.
And the only way you can watch, if you want to watch Pinocchio on a Blu-ray HD quality, or if you wanted to watch The Lion King on a Blu-ray HD quality, instead of putting it in your player, you can just get on Disney Plus streaming service and boom, it's there. So I guess the thought process: if you pay, you get access to all these original shows, original
Disney's original anime,
original shows, original movies. They're making exclusive for the service, and then their entire vault. Because I guess it'd be better. It's better to pay, I guess, what, $10-$12 a month, because they're claiming it's going to be cheaper on Netflix when it launches. So it's good to pay $10, $12, maybe even $15 a month for everything versus individually buying a $20 Blu-ray or even $30 Blu-ray for one. So I guess it's better.
I understand it perfectly, and it makes perfect sense to me, but it's still really shocking that they're doing this.
Because it goes against what they've done all this time.
For nearly a century.
I remember.
now?
I remember those commercials that would come on TV, like
Right.
coming out of the vault for a limited time only.
Right.
Pinocchio, like you said, on
Beauty and the
Blu-ray.
Beast, or
Yeah, Beauty and the
Dumbo,
Beast.
even I think was one.
Yeah.
Um,
Because they go through all this process of remastering it.
yeah,
Why don't they just leave it out for its entirety? I don't understand, but
but I don't think I've said this on the podcast. I'm pretty sure I've said this to you. As cool as that is, and as much as I love Disney stuff, I am not going to be subscribing to Disney Plus unless there is a good amount of Marvel content that actually interests me.
I think, yeah.
At the moment, the only things I'm interested in, I'm very interested to see what this Loki series is going to be about.
Yep.
I'm iffy on the Scarlet Witch and Vision series. I'm excited for the Howard the Duck animated series.
On Hulu.
I want to see that. Oh, that's on Hulu? Okay.
Yep, they animated the Howard the Duck,
Right.
Hitmonkey, MODOK,
Yeah.
and
Which
God,
MODOK is being voiced by Patton Oswalt. Is that
think,
right?
yeah.
Perfect.
Those are all going to Hulu because
Yeah.
I think what they're doing is anything Disney wise that is R-rated or TVMA in that instance is going to Hulu, and then anything up to PG-13 is going to be on Disney Plus.
Right.
Because they'll have once the Fox merger goes through, they're going to have like I think 40% of Hulu, so they'll own it because the rest of it's divided up other places.
The only streaming service I use currently is Netflix.
Yeah.
And once Jessica Jones season 3 drops and I finish it, I'm ending my subscription to Netflix because that's all I used it for.
Jesus.
Were the Marvel shows.
Yeah.
And now that's done, and we're not going to see them potentially for 2 years, potentially never.
Yeah. Not
So-
even Umbrella Academy season 2?
I might get it again for a week just to when
watch
that
Umbrella
happens.
Academy.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
gotcha. The
yeah,
Witcher?
unless oh fuck.
See, there's
Right.
The Witcher.
Yeah.
You haven't watched Selling Adventures of Sabrina, have you?
No, I haven't.
I think you'd
not
enjoy
really
it.
interested.
But
But yeah, I will not be getting Disney Plus until there is enough exciting Marvel content to make it worth it to me.
gotcha. Well, I mean, I think what they're going to do is they're going to at Comic-Con this year after Endgame, and I believe Far From Home's going to be out before then. I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but I think at Comic-Con they're going to officially announce. I mean, Loki's already officially announced,
Right.
but I think they're going to officially announce Scarlet Witch and Vision. I think they're going to officially announce that they're doing
There's something about a Bucky and Falcon
that's been rumored.
series, yeah. Which that would
Apparently
be
Nick
fun.
Fury might be in that too.
Yeah.
So if they do that, but my guess is they'll be announcing the next slate of films plus their shows because Kevin Feige was interviewed while they were doing press for Captain Marvel leading
Right.
up to the release and saying how Disney Plus is their way to really have a real connectivity to the films. Because, I mean, the Netflix shows, there's no real connectivity besides
Right.
the event. And then in
Hey, you see that big green guy or that dude with the hammer?
yeah,
like,
it's
come on.
non-specific
Right.
sometimes. But, like, Kevin Feige's like, Marvel Studios is making these shows.
Yeah.
So they are doing direct tie-ins, and they're going to be able to tell stories they couldn't tell in a 2-hour feature in an 8-hour run or a 6-hour run because
Yeah.
they actually have the resources to do it instead of... Because imagine, we have a story that will take 6 hours at least to tell, but we don't want to spend 500 plus million on 3 movies that will
Yeah.
have to be spaced
That'll
out.
take like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, when people could just watch the story in a span of a day if they wanted to.
for a fifth of the price.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
less even.
they're saying that like the budget for these shows are going to be around 100 million, which is roughly a movie. But a movie is 2 hours long.
Yeah, maybe 2.5.
And it's maybe even more money for a 2-hour movie. I think Captain Marvel cost 140 something million to make.
Yeah.
100 million for a show for 6-8 episodes. You're getting a lot more, and they're going to make it cinematic like the movies too. It's not going to be.
I just hope if the Netflix characters as these iterations ever come back, I want them to be integrated in properly into the movie universe.
Yeah.
Because there's so much potential for so many great moments. Like let me think of an example. Okay, one of my favorite moments in Marvel Comics recently was the story with Spider-Man, the Punisher, and Daredevil.
Yeah.
And the Punisher had kind of teamed up with this woman who was sort of like a female Punisher.
Yeah.
Spider-Man shows up. They're all getting ready to go into like this warehouse to take out whoever. Spider-Man shows up. He sees female Punisher, and you see his little thought bubble comes up, and he goes, "Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it." And he goes, "Hey Frank, nice to see you're dating again." The Punisher. It's like 2 panels. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't even look at him. He just cocks a gun and puts it up to his head.
Jesus.
And Peter goes, "I'm gonna go inside." There's so much potential for so many great moments that they just wasted on Netflix.
John Bernthal needs to be in the movies.
Yes.
He's so good as the Punisher.
Have you finished season 2 yet?
No.
Okay. I will say season 2 ends satisfyingly enough that if we never see more of this version of the Punisher, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
I won't be happy with it. I want more, but it
wraps
up neatly enough.
Just imagine at Comic-Con, hypothetically, this year, Kevin Feige, Marvel Studio president's out there, and they're announcing stuff, and then John Bernthal walks on stage, and they announce a Punisher movie.
Oh.
It's going to be R-rated, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere...
Charlie Cox just walks in.
Charlie Cox walks out.
Yep.
Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow's going to be in the movie.
Have you seen that anime really Punisher and Black Widow movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. But there's even rumors like could they have Charlie or a Daredevil in a Black Widow movie that they're making right now, which I don't know if they're doing.
Because they have a long history in the comics, don't they?
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen because the way it's kind of set up, like it's going to be a prequel, and it's going to be set way before the events of the first Avengers, so it would make no sense for Charlie Cox to be that Daredevil.
What I want from a Black Widow movie, I want it to be Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And I want it to be, what's the place?
Did they reference in Avengers?
Yes, when...
I forget.
But he says, "This reminds me of such and such." And she goes, "We remember that very differently."
I think that's what they should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm very curious to find out more about them.
But yeah, I think that they need to
incorporate.
For me, I would, if I had to pick, out of the 5 characters that have their own shows, and to be integrated in the MCU, I would stick with Daredevil and Punisher. I feel like. I feel like with how they ended Luke Cage, he's a kingpin now. I just feel like
that was a massive fucking cliffhanger.
And whenever, but there's a lot of theories of that Hulu will eventually pick up the show. So I feel like they're never going to be incorporated, unfortunately.
Endgame is going to be so dark because that Hawkeye's entire family dusted in front of him.
Of course, they had to, and they're going to show it. They're going to have to show it. Like even though though it's already happened, I bet there's gonna be flashbacks where we're gonna see him having a moment, and then all of a sudden it flashes back to seeing his family sitting on the couch together, gone.
Did you see that brief shot in the Endgame trailer of him as Ronin?
Yeah,
he looks like he wants to fucking kill himself.
Because I'm pretty sure he was sitting on the couch with his wife,
holding his newborn baby,
and his other kids are running around, and all of a sudden they all, a baby dusting. Oh my god, that's bad. That's bad.
Man, yeah.
You want to move on to this other sad topic here?
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
The end of an era.
8 years. It will be.
Well, 10 episodes, but whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Arrow Season 8 will be the final season.
Oliver is dead.
Well, we're theorizing. So, this news... Well, Stephen Amell tweeted this out. Almost at the exact same time that the first report came out about Idris Elba playing Deadshot. It was weird how close the timing was for both announcements. Right. I made a video about it, and people were like freaking out. Like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, Stephen Amell himself tweeted it.
Which, it is sad, but I'm happy that they're going out on their own terms, and that the show is not going to have overstayed its welcome. It's not just going to fizzle out after season 12 or whatever.
Which I would have been fine with the last 12 seasons. But whatever.
Yeah. But at a certain point, Supernatural has hit its stride again. It's gotten very good, but it was fucking stale for a long time.
It's just stagnant for a couple years. So Stephen Amell, I think around the time when I was filming my video or after I got finished, did a live stream quickly on Facebook talking, and he was crying bits and pieces in it.
Yeah.
And he said that at the end of season 6, towards it, he went to the showrunner, like the original showrunner or one of them, Mark Guggenheim, and talked to Beth Schwartz, who had recently been announced as the new showrunner for season 7, saying, well, the contract ends in season 7. I think it's time for me to move on. Yeah. And apparently, I think it was discussed at one point of the show continuing without him. But then they ultimately said no, and so they decided I guess it's because they're doing Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they knew they were doing it, that we're going to do 10 episodes to kind of tie in, because I think it would be weird if we did Crisis on Infinite Earths, Arrow ends season 7, there's no season 8, and then he just shows up in season 8.
Right.
It would just feel like you would have to have him and other characters on The Flash or something to kind of integrate them to know, oh, they're still here and they're aware of what's happening, and then Crisis. So
now, I'm hoping for Crisis that Legends are involved.
I think
because there needs to be a large cast, and a lot of them need to not make it out okay.
I've said that I think Crisis will be their way of exiting characters.
Yeah,
and introducing characters in the multiverse that are in the multiverse that will survive post-Crisis.
I'm hoping it follows that aspect of the comic, and that the multiverse is condensed down into just one Earth.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to kind of modify it. I think Earth 1 will have Earth 38 and 1 intact, Supergirl's Earth and Earth 1 combined, so that it's easier to do crossovers and easier to do connectivity with those Earths. But I think there will be some Earths not touched that will still be out there that they'll discover at some point. But I think what they're doing is they're going to kill off characters, or AKA exit, retire characters. And then they're also going to be doing, since we're covering the whole multiverse with Anti-Monitor, I think they're going to be introducing characters from other Earths that are going to be in the fight that will then live and then potentially get their own shows. Because Arrow's ending after Crisis, that's done. I've heard theories, and I mentioned it earlier, but I've heard, well, not theories, rumors from people who are very credible that have said they've heard Supergirl and Legends are both potentially could be ending too when Crisis is done. And apparently what they've been hearing about Supergirl is that Supergirl might get axed, and that Superman show, which was rumored for a while ago, might actually be happening, but I don't know.
I would love that.
But then, I think Legends might get axed for two reasons. The ratings are really low compared to the other shows.
Yeah.
It costs way more to.
Even though Legends is very good, it's really fun, but
I haven't watched a single bit in season 4.
Yeah.
Not. But the thing is that it costs way more to make because all the characters on the show that are on the Wave Rider are main cast.
Yeah.
They're all getting paid a roughly high salary. So it's harder, and it's actually.
I'm pretty sure, isn't the industry standard for cable, isn't it $30,000 an episode or something like that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
All I know is that apparently it costs way more to make Legends than any of the other shows.
Right.
So apparently Legends might get axed.
Yeah.
But Supergirl, I think, was interesting because it was mentioned how Supergirl is going to get replaced because they're apparently doing a Supergirl show and a Supergirl movie.
Right. At some point.
Superman's apparently not going to be featured in the movies.
Is Kevin Smith signed on to direct that, or was he at some point?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It wouldn't surprise me if he was offered the job to do Supergirl.
Right.
But apparently Supergirl might get axed for Superman's show because Superman's not going to be focused in the movies. Supergirl is going to be. Yeah. So why not flip it for the shows? Which I think would be really cool, because then you've already cast Lex Luthor. You already have Jimmy Olsen. Yep. You've already cast Lois Lane. You have Superman.
You have James. You have James Olsen.
Not Jimmy. James Olsen. But
that's still something.
But you have the core 4 that you would kind of need for a Superman. And you already have Supergirl, so Melissa Benoist could return in guest spots.
Like maybe the series finale of Supergirl. She's like, well, I've done all I can here. Time to go see the stars. And then she'll just pop back to Earth every now and then.
See the stars?
Well, I mean, because the super people do that often.
They just see the stars.
They just they fuck off of Earth and go out and spend a couple years in space.
They literally fuck off Earth.
Yeah.
They literally fuck. So, I think that this is it's good they're ending on their own terms. Yeah. I think, because some stupid idiots were like, oh, finally Arrow got canceled. And like, no. It's not. Look, first of all, they announced season 8. They just confirmed it's the final season with 10 episodes. It'd be like, if they really did cancel Arrow, it would never have been renewed. It would never have been picked up for season 8. Yeah. But no, it didn't get canceled.
I did just have a really sad thought, though. After this year, we're never going to get another picture of Stephen Amell and
David Ramsey.
Yeah, holding up the season numbers.
Well, David Ramsey put on his Twitter him holding up 8 fingers for season 8 and saying how he's very grateful for all these years. And so what I find really funny too is that some of the cast who were recently added in for season 7, like freaking whatever her name is, who plays Mia Smoke, which I think I just don't like the reveal of.
yeah.
And then also the newer actor who plays older William are like, I'm so grateful to be on the show. I'm like, you've only been on for less than a season.
By the way, the actor that plays young William,
yeah, he's gone.
Fuck that guy. I guess we're never gonna see him again.
Well, no one. People were like tired of him.
Yeah,
his interpretation.
He's not a great actor, but at the same time, he's a child, so I don't hold that.
He grew up
him.
quick though. You remember when he first got introduced? And now he's a big old boy.
Well, it was the same with Chandler Riggs on The Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Because I think he was 9 years old when they filmed the first season, and then due to I think season 2 and 3 were kind of delayed a little bit, so by season 3 he was like 13 or 14. So this 9-year-old kid aged 5 years in what was the show's time, like a year and a half.
So they kind of like, it's kind of bad. So like, fuck it, just kill him.
That's why you're not caught up on it at all, but there have been a lot of time jumps.
Well, yeah, I know there's a time jump where
there have been 2 this season.
The baby who was born right as the mother died is now 10 or something now.
Which, and man,
she's a badass apparently.
She's fucking great. That kid, it's the little girl that played young Rey in Force Awakens.
Oh,
yeah, she's great. But also, I'm really happy they didn't stick to the comics on that one. Are you aware of what happens in the comics?
No.
Okay, slight spoiler for the Walking Dead comics. So Lori survives giving birth to Judith.
Yeah.
Both totally fine. And then when the governor attacks the prison, Lori is running away with the baby in her arms.
Yeah.
And he shoots her through the back with a shotgun. And it hits the baby through her.
Jesus.
Like it cuts her in half and the baby is just hamburger meat.
That's terrible.
It's really bad.
This is why I don't watch. That's why I don't read the comics.
Yeah,
it's kind of brutal, man.
Like for as violent as the show can be, the comics are 10 times worse.
Yeah. Anyways, Arrow.
Yeah.
It was nice knowing you.
It was.
Still very happy that Stephen Amell tweeted me saying I'm hilarious. I'm fine with it.
It's not over yet. We still have
bits.
Fully, would it be like 14 episodes total, counting season 8,
roughly, and then whatever they're included in for Crisis.
Yeah.
We have enough time just to see more episodes without the Longbow Hunters, who did absolutely nothing.
I hope they never bring them back. I don't want them ever mentioned again.
I like the fact that the guy's like, the Longbow Hunters were not cheap. I'm like, they should have been because they didn't do shit.
One got kidnapped.
Yep.
The other 2 killed a couple security guards.
Woo.
That's it.
Woo.
Yeah.
Oh, one guy threw Renee or something.
Right. He grabbed him and tossed him like 5 feet.
Woo. Renee's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then he gets up and he's totally fine.
That's whatever.
No, but he had a cold shield though. Didn't you see his cold shield?
So I guess we can just skip this prediction thing I had here because we have 2 big spoiler things to discuss.
Oh yes.
So the Umbrella Academy. Wow. I was not aware of the comics.
I still haven't read them, but I know of them. I know what happens in them.
They're a little bit different than the show.
They're very different in some aspects, actually.
So,
in fact, that's one of my minor complaints, are the differences.
What was funny is that, so me and the girlfriend here, who's lovely, love you. Don't look at me like that. So we watched.
What, with a smile?
Well, I don't like smiles. We watched the promo, the trailer on Netflix's app. We were just watching the trailer. Like, oh, looks kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So we watched the first episode, and she was kind of tuning out. And then as it continued, she continued to go, "Wait, what's happening?" And then episode 8.
Yeah.
Spoilers, by the way, because this is the spoiler section.
Full spoilers.
Fucking, she slits her sister's throat.
Yep.
Holy shit. Yep.
So
I did not see that coming.
In the comics. The comics and the show are different, very different in some aspects.
Yeah.
And generally I don't like comparing differences in adaptations as opposed to the source material, unless I feel the source material did it better. Mm-hmm. And I think, from what I know of the comics, I think it was certain things were done better, were more interesting, or a little more cooler rather. Okay, for example, Vanya, the white violin.
Yeah.
In the comics, whoever the fuck Leonard, whatever that guy's name was, the crazy dude, he doesn't exist in the comics as far as I know.
Apparently that's a change they made because
like a massive, major change.
Now, did she know about her powers in the comics or no? Okay, so
she gets invited, seemingly invited to go perform at like an orchestra or something. She gets there. It's a rundown theater. She's the only one there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a man in the seats called the conductor, who slowly begins teaching her how to use her powers. And as she learns more and more, she loses herself more and more. So that aspect is pretty much the same.
So essentially, this guy who, and I think it's cool, interesting how they set up where he killed his dad when he was young because he thought he was special too because he was born on the same day.
By the way, I don't know what the laws are in New York, or even in this fictional version of New York. He was like 11 years old, I think, when he killed his dad. How long did he get? Like 15 years?
12 something.
12. I don't think it would have been that long, because that kid was obviously being mentally and physically abused.
I don't know, but like, regardless, he thought he was special because he was born on the same day.
Right.
His mom died. That's why his dad became a drinker.
Yeah.
Because he killed his mother, essentially.
Essentially. He Tyrioned her.
So, essentially, this guy was their version of the conductor, except he was manipulating...
He was manipulating her from a romantic point, and he didn't just outright tell her. The conductor was like, look, your dad fucking lied to you. I know what you can do. Let me teach you.
I think it's more interesting that we slowly build. Because, see, I was under the impression when they introduced the family, we see where they're at personally in their lives, and they all come back as the dad's dead. I like the fact that she was not told at first and that he was slowly manipulating. Because I'm like, okay, he first shows up to get a lesson.
Right.
And he's being overly nice and trying his best. And then it's like he keeps popping up and then... He's like, well, you should go for first chair. Right. And then, of course, he kills that girl, and he takes her pills, and he's dumping them down the drain. And that's what he was doing in the room, was getting her pills.
Yeah.
You know?
If you think about it, their dad is essentially...
quotes.
Essentially the chief from Doom Patrol, except he's a total asshole.
With a robot.
Like, he's a complete bastard.
With a robot as well, but this is a robot-made mom.
A couple other changes... One, I wish they had done just because it's a little more interesting. It's cooler to me. Luther, Space Boy.
Yeah.
So in the show, he is grievously injured on a mission. His last mission. He's on death's door, and Dr. Hargreaves or Professor Hargreaves gives him some sort of serum.
Yeah. That
kind of makes him a little ape-like, monkey-ish. He gets really buff and hairy. And that's fine. But in the comics, the comics are also even more ridiculous in some aspects in a fun way. So in the comics, same thing happens. He's mortally wounded. But Hargreaves, instead of injecting him with something, he amputates his head and puts his head on the body of a gorilla from Mars.
Of course. Like, how bizarre can you get? Jesus.
And it's even more grotesque.
Yeah.
He doesn't even bother trying to hide it because there's no way he could. I just thought that, I feel that's more interesting, that's goofier and a little more fun.
Yeah.
And another...
I'm fine with them grounding it like that because I feel like him being too big, like his body's too big and his head is still the same size.
Right.
I think it's interesting visual, but I think that's it budgetary wise. It makes more sense to do that.
Am I the only one? I didn't notice that Luther was played by Dickon Tarley.
Yeah, Dickon.
I didn't notice that until like episode 9.
I was just like,
who is this guy? I fucking know him from something.
I saw him and like, he looks familiar, and then I typed in the actor's name, and the first thing that popped up was Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay.
One other fairly major change that I don't like. So the comic, as I understand it, essentially it ends.
Yeah.
The comic is finished. It ends about where season 1 ended. So, Klaus, the Seance.
Yeah.
He has multiple other powers. He's not just talking to dead people. He can fly. He has telekinesis, I think telepathy, maybe. But his telekinesis is like, fuck you, powerful. Right? So, when the moon blows up, or when a piece of it blows off, rather, comes hurtling towards Earth, they don't fail to stop it and then time travel away to figure something else out. The Seance just flies up, catches it with his telekinesis, and just fucking smacks it away, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Which I understand they needed something to set up season 2.
But also, it's budgetary. Yeah. I mean, I think that they pulled off that sequence where they blow up the entire mansion pretty well, because it's like essentially she's been taken over by these powers. It's kind of like the Dark Phoenix essentially.
Yes.
So she's
Very
walking
much
around.
so.
She looks in and sees the younger versions of those kids, and then as she leaves, slow mo, boom, the room
Right.
explodes. She's like getting
And-
rid of that memory. Essentially,
That's another change. At the end, Allison, Rumor, has a gun to her head. The white violin doesn't realize it. Instead of shooting her, she shoots slightly to the right of her.
Yeah.
That sound wave snaps her out of it. She loses control of her powers, blasts the moon,
Yeah.
etc. So in the comics, it's number 5 with the gun. And he just shoots her in the fucking head.
Jesus.
Doesn't kill her, though.
Yeah.
They stop the asteroid from wiping out all life on Earth. They take her back home. She wakes up with no memories. And they then have to deal with that.
Yeah. I'm fine. I think it's interesting that they made Rumor do it because the fact is, like 2 episodes prior, she slit her throat and and left her for dead
With a violin bow.
It was pretty gnarly because, like, she was kind of like taken aback by the fact that she had powers, and so she's like trying to process it, but also trying to help her out. Like the guy you're with, he's not who he says he is, and then it's like she just retaliates in the worst way possible by dead.
Yeah.
Well, you think? Well, we thought. I honestly thought they killed her.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Let's see. Right now, I'm just going over things I didn't really like.
Well, what was the big thing? You said there was a big thing you didn't like.
The biggest thing I didn't like, and I know the term plot hole is it's a bit of a loose term, but I would describe this as a plot hole. So, the Commission, the evil organization.
Yeah.
By the way, Cha-Cha and Hazel are fucking great.
I really like those characters.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Cha-Cha... Is it Cha-Cha?
Cha-Cha is the black woman.
Okay, no.
Hazel is the guy.
Okay, because I got them confused.
Right.
I like the fact that Hazel ended up with that one from the donut shop.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
She was sweet,
nice.
innocent. I was like waiting for any moment for her to become like a villain or something, just because the show's so bonkers.
But no, she exactly as she presents herself. That's what.
And the last thing that they did before they were taken by the explosion, was
they time traveled.
Hazel and her being together.
Right.
I think that was good to have that because I feel like Hazel, he was tired of it. He was tired of just not having a home.
He was like, he reminded me a lot of Craig, what's his name? Craig Robinson? The black guy from The Office.
I haven't seen the show.
Okay. The black criminal guy that's hunting Seth Rogen and James Franco in Pineapple Express.
Oh, okay.
Kind of reminded, or no, not him, his partner.
Okay.
Kind of reminded me of that. I remember towards the end, he's like, "Look, man, I'm fucking tired. I just want to go home and have dinner with my wife." It reminded me of that.
So what's the one thing that you hated most?
So, towards the end of the season, number 5, which I love that he's just number 5 because he disappeared before they got their real names.
Yeah.
So number 5 rejoins the commission as like a managerial position. Clearly, they knew that Vanya was the direct cause of the apocalypse, right?
They didn't tell him.
Not even that. Up until this point, he has been incredibly cautious. He's been incredibly meticulous. No stone unturned. Everything has a plan and a backup plan and a backup to the backup plan. It didn't occur to him once to check their records and make sure to be absolutely certain of what the cause was. He could have looked in a fucking filing cabinet and seen, oh shit, Vanya does it. I gotta go back and stop that.
Now, so the moon crashes and destroys Earth.
Yes.
If that's always the continuity?
Yes.
Or did they... Well, okay.
Well, it essentially was caused by him trying to stop it. That classic time travel thing of you try to prevent something, but you
actually
end up being the cause. Yeah.
Okay.
But had what has previously been shown to be a genius character, like Batman level genius.
Yeah.
It didn't once occur to him to double check.
Maybe. Or maybe the records never showed exactly who did it.
Well, they clearly knew because they sent back to Hazel and Cha-Cha to protect Vanya at all costs.
No, they protect the guy.
Yes,
not
but then
Vanya.
after he died, they got another note saying protect Vanya Hargreaves.
Oh, okay.
So clearly the commission knew what the direct cause was.
I have to go back and rewatch it. I don't remember the second note, but I just know that it's it's such a bizarre thing because now,
Right.
where did they travel to exactly? How far back did they go? And how are they going to prevent it? Like, are they going to go back to when they're about to put her in the vault, or she's already in the vault, and then they let her out and try to figure out what's going on? Because I feel like the problem is
it's clear that they are going back in time. Otherwise, they wouldn't have reverted to their younger selves.
But how far? My thing is that I feel that the reason why she's so mad and the reason why she killed Pogo and killed all these people.
Man, fucking love Pogo.
Or is it Pogo?
Pogo.
Okay.
His name is Phineas Pogo.
The fact is, they got the same people who did Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
To do the CG. It's fucking phenomenal.
It's outstanding.
It's too good for Netflix.
Shocking.
It's too good for Netflix. But I think it's really it's gonna be hard for them to explain everything because she's been under this impression that they all knew that she had powers and they were lying to her.
And that's another worry I have. I almost would have preferred if this was a miniseries, just one season, and it ended the way the comic does, because from here on out, they won't really have much source material to draw on. They'll be writing the story from scratch themselves.
I'm not sure,
which is worrying to me.
I'm not sure if the guy who wrote it is helping with the script.
I know he's involved, but I don't know to what degree.
Now, apparently, it's not actually over. Apparently, they're still releasing things.
I mean, there are still stories, but the meat of it was essentially season 1 here. Everything else after that is kind of like slice of life, sort of. There are bigger events that happen, but for the most part, it's nothing on this scale. Okay. You know what I mean?
Well, I think what they're going to do is they're going to probably reapproach this event and maybe prevent it. But I wonder, because they said 40, was it 43 or 47? 43 kids that were born that day?
40.
I think it's 43.
43, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
So he has.
So there are another, what would that be, 36 people out there potentially with powers?
So I'm thinking they're setting that up for them.
Yeah.
For some of them to be villains, some of them to potentially join the Umbrella Academy or join the group that they'll be forming. I wonder, because apparently also Hazel and Cha-Cha were apparently featured much later in the comics, but they brought them in super early in the show.
And they were both men, if I recall.
I don't know.
Which was a interesting change.
Yeah.
That one I didn't have any problem with.
But I really enjoyed the show. I was surprised by some of the twists and how, and I kept wondering. I swear she has powers. She has to.
Yeah,
and then I thought they were gonna maybe wait till closer to the end, but they started to tease it a little bit early on. That maybe some, because she kept talking about these pills. I have to keep taking these pills. My dad prescribed them. I have to take them.
I also kind of wish her design was more like the comics when she became the White Violin.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. I'll show you a picture of her. I really also the art style in the comics is very surreal. It's not like DC or Marvel where it's kind of realistic, like proportions and everything.
It's pretty bizarre.
Yeah. Hang on.
But I'm glad that Netflix picked it up, because the thing is that Netflix obviously can't work with Marvel anymore because of Disney doing Disney Plus.
Right.
So they're like, well, we're going to pick up really obscure things.
So that's what her final form essentially in the comics was.
Yeah, vastly different.
I would have really enjoyed an interpretation of that, because I think that's a really cool design.
Yeah. I think what's interesting is that they got Ellen Page
to
play that very powerful character.
And she's great.
Kitty Pryde and fucking X-Men.
I like her a lot, but she wouldn't usually be my first choice as an actress just because of some of the things she's done. Think of an example. Have you ever seen have you ever played Beyond Two Souls?
I haven't played much of it.
Yeah, that is one of the most phoned in performances in anything I think I've ever seen.
Wow. Well,
I understand perfectly, because she had to work with, are you familiar with David Cage?
No.
Oops, I Made's a Bad Game, man.
No.
Oh boy. I got some stories to tell you when we're done here.
Well, I played a little bit of it. I think the thing is that Ellen Page went ahead and has moved on to another big project like Umbrella Academy that really blew up. It's because Umbrella Academy is another comic show, and Netflix is going more obscure, trying to get IP that they can get a hold of.
Right.
And it's like, once the merger with Fox and Disney goes through, like, all of the Fox characters, Disney-wise, are going to get recasted. So Ellen Page is like, fuck it. I'm not going to wait much longer. I'm going to get straight into... Oh, okay, I see the monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So isn't that a more interesting design?
Yeah, but budget wise, they wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
pull that off. But the fact is that this merger is going to have all of even the people who are now going to be in Dark Phoenix, they are not going to have a job with X-Men anymore once the merger goes through. So Ellen Page is like, fuck it. I know I'm not going to play Kitty Pryde anymore. Clearly, because Days of Future Past was it for me. I'm going to move on to other projects, and she found another popular project with Netflix.
The rumor I heard is that New Mutants is not going to get a theatrical release. They're going to put it on Disney Plus.
It's a rumor. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Which I think would be smart at this point, but
we'll see.
Who knows?
But I really enjoyed the show. I like the fact that the cliffhanger ending where they travel. We don't know how far they traveled, and the fact is that number 5 learned at that moment that he can actually travel with other people with him.
Which I love that moment. He's like, I'll take us all, and I think it's Diego the Kraken who goes, can you do that? And he's like, fucking I don't know.
Well, we gotta try something.
Yeah,
because you can't. What else you gonna do? Sit here and not know what the hell you're doing?
Also, the action in this show is it's beautiful. The fucking
really the kiss.
Yes, the donut shop with number 5.
Oh yes, that is
the best use of the song Istanbul I have ever seen.
It's crazy how that's like the opening fight sequence.
Yeah,
like that's the opening of showing you what the action's gonna be.
I will say I wish we'd seen more of Ben, who his name is the Horror.
Yeah,
it looked like they were just giant octopus tentacles in the show.
Yeah,
but what that is, he is summoning like
a demon,
Orwellian horrors from another dimension that come out from under his skin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want them to explore how he died because it's like they're being non-specific on a few things.
I can't remember how he dies in the comics, but I'm pretty sure it was on a relatively routine mission. Like nothing should have gone wrong. But, yeah.
I think it's interesting because they have Ben there with Klaus, always talking to him, and then he can actually. And then him learning that he can actually use not Klaus, but Ben's powers to help in the real world.
I wish they had just given them all their powers at once, but I'm
fine with them slowly revealing.
I'm fine with it, yeah.
Because it makes sense in this, at least with what the show set up. The dad was so strict, like especially with that sequence where they're eating dinner or whatever, where number 5 actually escaped and was time traveling through and getting out of there, is because he was wanting to ask questions and. He's like, no, we're eating dinner. We're eating. It's like
he says, no. You know the rule number 5: no talking during meals.
And then when you look at when they reveal what happened to Luther, where he's getting a mission, and then he's like, and the dad's like, well, you're my number 1, and then Luke's like, you don't have to call me number 1 anymore. And he's like, why not?
Right.
And then, like, I'm the only one left. And then it's like, because the dad pushed everybody else away.
And you know what? That's something else about Luther that I wish they had done the Martian gorilla.
Yeah.
It's because in the comics, it makes perfect sense that people see him and go, oh my god, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Here, he's just a big, hairy guy.
And they think he's a furry at that rave.
He's like a roided out guy with a body hair problem.
I'm fine with it.
But still in the show, when that chandelier gets dropped on him and it tears his shirt away, Diego especially is like, what the fuck is that? When really it's not that bad. Like, he's not a grotesque monster, you know.
His body's way too big, though.
Yeah.
It looks bizarre.
If anything, he looks like he's just been doing steroids for a while. Like, he looks like, you know that dude that his bicep exploded because he took so many steroids?
Yeah.
That guy's body before that happened, because of course his head stayed the same, it essentially looked like that. Like, it is possible in the real world to have a body shaped like that.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to go the route of, as he progresses and gets older, that his body will just get more and more gorilla-like.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Maybe.
Though, actually, at this point, they might even, because he's a kid again and now he's normal. Yeah. Normal. He might just grow up and grow through that phase and not have the gorilla body anymore.
Maybe not.
We don't know. But, what was I going to say? Oh, right. I just wanted to give props to...
props?
Yes, props.
Props!
To the actor who played number 5. The hell is his name?
I don't know.
Aidan Gallagher.
Okay, yeah, he was really, really good.
I think he's like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
He had the best performance in the show, in my opinion. He was for someone so young, was incredible.
He had so much
blown away.
He had so much he had to do.
Yeah,
and he had to portray.
He was
an
playing
old
a
man.
58-year-old man in a child's body. It's
pretty bizarre.
And it was bizarre, but I believed him. You know what I mean? So good job on you, dude. That your performance was fantastic. Not that you're ever gonna fucking hear this, but
So you want to get to the final?
yes.
So we both did not watch Captain Marvel because we boycotted that movie because we are tired of Brie Larson's comments about what? Okay. So I want to get this out of the way. We're gonna get to spoilers.
Yep.
There's a thing because there's things I wanted to say in my non-spoiler review I couldn't even touch because it was spoilers. I'm like, I'm not even gonna talk about certain characters because of spoilers.
Right.
But my thing is that this whole notion of taking things that Brie Larson said out of context and using it as some sort of agenda to boycott the movie,
right,
or making up complete lies about things that they say that she said, but you fact-checked she's never said it.
I want to say it's not like when she says these controversial things, it's not like they say, so how was it playing Captain Marvel? And she goes, feminism.
Yeah.
They ask her these questions about her thoughts on these topics.
Yeah.
She's just responding to questions that are being asked of her. It's not like she's just going around saying this with no cause.
The biggest thing that I heard and people are using, and trust me, we'll get the spoilers.
Yes,
don't worry.
we will.
But the biggest thing was that she was mentioning how she wanted more diversity at press junkets for interviews that she did for the movie. And that's not her saying, because the truth is the majority of people at press junkets are white males.
Yeah.
So she was just saying, I want more diversity. She didn't say she didn't want white males at her press junket, because you look at interviews, there's white guys. But she was saying, I want more people to be there, more variety. Like, she wants more seats at the table. She's not taking seats away from the table.
And that would also be helpful, because I don't know if you've noticed this, especially the past few years, and especially with superhero movies.
Yeah.
I've stopped watching interviews because the questions are all the fucking same.
Yeah, they're always the same questions.
Always just cookie cutter, 5 minutes worth of shit you've heard before over and over and over.
They've already been asked it, but like on a bigger show, and then they'll just ask it again. Like, this is completely off of not Captain Marvel, but Ben Affleck's promoting Triple Frontier for Netflix.
Right.
The movie. Apparently, it's actually pretty good.
I've heard nothing
The
about
casting,
this.
Oscar Isaac's in it.
Really?
Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy's in it. It looks pretty insane. So apparently it's actually good. He's being interviewed. He already said on Jimmy Kimmel and Twitter he's not Batman.
Right.
We're off topic but then there's been 4 or 5 videos that I've seen where he's promoting.
Yeah.
They ask about Batman.
Yeah.
Stop it. But for Brie Larson, it's like, look, this is the first MCU-led solo film for the MCU. We've seen Scarlet Witch, we've seen Black Widow, but these characters are not leading their solo films.
This is the first female solo Marvel film.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're asking about it,
right?
And regardless of her political views or her beliefs or her opinions, she's just saying, hey, this is a female empowerment film, and this is, and she never said this is not for white dudes,
right?
The majority of the theater I was in, white guys white families, were there. So I don't know.
It's people asking about these topics,
and she answers the question,
and she just answers the question, and she gives her honest opinion.
I don't know.
I don't understand what the fucking outrage is with that. Anyways,
so
little side note, you mentioned Oscar Isaac. Heard slight rumblings that he might be in the running to play the younger Batman. What do you think of that?
Maybe. I'm not sure, but
he would need to bulk up a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
all right,
Captain Marvel. That was Goose the cat.
Fuck that cat.
No,
man.
love the cat. Except now, I wanted to say this because there's some people that are fine with it.
Yeah.
I honestly wish they would have went a different direction.
Yeah.
So, Goose the cat is adorable.
Yes.
Not an actual cat.
Deadly as fuck.
Not an actual.
Well. Yeah.
Not a cat. I do not like. And it was theorized for months. As soon as it showed Goose the cat and Nick Fury's petting him in the trailer, the first trailer or whatever.
It was the joke.
But
it was a meme that's how it happened.
Yeah, but it's like, people are like saying, oh, it's going to be Goose the cat. Watch, it's Goose the cat.
Yeah.
And it actually is. Goose the cat makes him lose his eye. And I'm thinking, okay, if they do it, what's going to be the context? Is he going to be in the line of fire of Goose the cat revealing who he is?
Yeah.
And then he gets caught in the crossfire? No, just scratches him. Scratch. Done.
it was played for a joke.
Yep.
When in Winter Soldier, and this line, when you first watch that movie, you first hear this line, there is a weight to it. There's a history there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, what happened? Who betrayed him? What happened? The line is, the last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. Guess what? He trusted a fucking alien cat.
So is that the actual line?
Yes.
Some people are claiming that the interpretation could be something else, but if he says directly "I,"
yes,
then there's no way around that.
He directly, specifically says to Steve, "The last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye."
I really think that he should have lost it in a battle with one of the Kree. Which, by the way, I love the twist. I said there's a twist in the movie.
Yes.
And if you don't like the twist, this movie does not work. It won't work for you because the twist is so significant in the movie.
Yeah.
I love the twist.
I like it in the context of this film. I don't like what it means going forward.
Well, here's this too. I have a stinking suspicion that it's been a long time since Captain Marvel to now the events of Endgame. I have a stinking suspicion that the Skrulls,
something will have happened to fuck them up.
There's a Skrull that maybe takes over the leadership of the Skrulls.
Super Skrull, hopefully.
And will...
Yeah.
Because I think Super Skrulls are out there in the continuity. Super Skrulls are probably out there in the outer rim, in quotations, of the Marvel Universe. And I bet they will bring on the Skrull War. Also,
I just realized... I forget Ben Mendelsohn's character's name. Ben Mendelsohn plays the main Skrull. When fucking Goose the Cat scratches Fury's eye, and it's not even like he gouges his eye out. It's a light scratch.
Yeah.
I don't even think that actually touched his eyeball, but I guess there was a poison or a toxin or something on his claws. And Fury goes, no, it's fine. It's just a scratch. And Ben Mendelsohn's Skrull character behind him goes, oh no.
No. I think it's Talos.
Talos, okay. So Talos goes, oh no. But then he doesn't explain why it's bad.
Like, why would he?
He just lets it rock.
Just let it sit there. Now,
also, it's...
Yeah, Talos.
I settled into it and I stopped really noticing it. It was so jarring at first that all the Skrulls have, like, thick Australian accents.
Yeah, because he was live tweeting, not live tweeting. He was live texting me. I'm actually gonna read some of them because it was pretty damn funny. So he's watching the movie.
Yeah.
He's like hashtag Coulson lives. I mean, I know Ben Mendelsohn is destroying, but this. The Stan Lee cameo is fantastic.
The Stan Lee cameo is fantastic. That Stan Lee tribute at the beginning almost made me fucking cry.
I like how you put. So she hasn't realized her full power yet, right? Because three completely normal humans were able to hold her back. I'm like, dude, just wait. Just wait. He's like, I'm live commentating. I'm like a reaction. He's like, exactly. In all capital. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Fury is such a badass. He just killed a Skrull impersonating Phil. Like, that was a good reveal, too, that was actually not Phil Coulson. Holy shit. Let's see. I didn't want to steal your thunder. This is great. Fury is a fucking genius. And yeah, like we did in Havana, that was very good.
Yeah.
Is the cat a Skrull? Wait, how do the Skrulls know about jazz hands? That's a good question.
Yeah.
So the kid with the pictures. Are you talking about her fake niece?
Yes, her old co-pilot best friend's daughter.
Yeah, like basically her niece. Because she said.
What did I say exactly? Oh yeah.
The kid with the pictures really getting to me.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was a good moment.
That was well done.
So the reveal that Jude Law is actually the villain, and the fact is like that whole the whole sequence where she sees a Skrull coming out of the thickness of
the smoke,
smoke and everything. Yeah. It's like, and then it's actually
Jude Law, and they just tampered with her memories. That was pretty good.
Wow. So,
going into this, I'm the only thing I saw the first two trailers. I didn't look into any of the controversies. I didn't look into any of the set photos or anything like that.
Yeah.
Going into this, I was positive that Jude Law was going to be Marvel.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be his character. He would maybe in a flashback, training when she's younger, and he would die in flashback early on and transfer his powers to her. No, it's some lady.
I don't think it's. I think there's more explanation that they didn't really cover. Because the problem with this movie, and I couldn't really explain it because it was spoilers. The movie has so much going on. First of all, it's an origin story of Captain Marvel. It's also a big reveal that the Kree who's been training her and she's been on missions with is actually the enemy.
Yeah.
The Skrulls are actually not enemies. They're actually trying to find the home, and they're trying to find where the Tesseract and where all this stuff. Like, where is the ship where we can actually go to a planet? Because we're being basically exterminated. They're being exterminated by the Kree for not bowing
mass
down.
Genocide,
Yeah. And so you have that, plus you're doing a young Nick Fury, you're setting up all that, and then you have the fact is, like, they're tying in Easter eggs and stuff to before the Avengers.
Yeah.
And then you have to tie in Endgame, which, by the way, that post-credit scene.
Didn't see it.
You didn't see the post-credit? You didn't wait?
It wasn't in the thing I was watching.
Oh, my
cut
God.
Off before it.
Oh, my... Wait, hold on a second. Hold on.
Okay. You can just tell me what happened.
I'll show you, actually.
Okay.
I'll just show you.
Is it on YouTube?
People have posted on YouTube,
Gotcha.
so we can find it.
I will say I have two complaints. One major, one medium-ish, I'd say. Major complaint, and I have this problem with all prequels. For me personally, I never feel any tension. It doesn't feel like there are any real stakes, because the main characters, Fury, Captain Marvel, Coulson, we knew they were going to be fine.
Yeah.
The side characters, one movie is not enough for me to give a shit about them. So if they die, I don't care.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I have a feeling the second film is going to be set in between the events of this film and Avengers Endgame and all that.
I'm hoping it is, because also there are rumblings and rumors that in the next phase she's going to kind of be the leader of the Avengers. Yeah, I don't think she's earned it yet.
Well, I think Endgame will prove that point.
I hope so. I hope there's more.
So we're going to watch this on... Okay. So there is the beeper.
Yes.
You'll see who... It's really cool. It shuts off. It's kind of blurry, but it's okay. My boy. Still got the beard.
God, I wish he didn't fucking shave the beard. So this is like immediately after.
Yeah. Close enough.
Yeah.
So that thing just stopped doing whatever.
So it's really cool is that they found the beeper.
Yeah.
Like, I guess they tracked
they tracked his car.
Probably. I guess, yeah. I'm like, that's pretty insane that no one or nothing touched the beeper.
We did. It's still plugged in. It just stopped.
Rebooted. Send the signal again.
Hey, well, we don't even know what this is.
Fury did. Just do it, please. Tell me the second you get a signal.
Ready?
I want to know who's on the other end of that thing.
Hey.
Where's Fury?
And look, and the suit is different.
Yeah.
You see that? Man, I'm really hyped because, like, I think the suit in this film, I think, is pretty good.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that she has to touch the wrist and she can change the colors.
Right.
I like that black and gold for a second. I'm like, oh, why can't we have that?
I think that was a reference to the other Miss Marvel.
I think.
Marvel. Yeah.
But, man, I love it.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I'm like, dude. And then she goes red and blue. All right.
Something else. I loved her look when she had the cowl up and the hair, like the mohawk going.
Yeah.
But when that's off, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers' best look in the comics, in my opinion, is the short, spiky hair.
Yeah.
I think it just really looks really good on her. And I think it would look fucking great on Brie Larson.
I think her hair was longer in that shot.
In that, it was, yeah.
So I think what I think is beautifully done is, like, we'll have the mohawk with the helmet. But what I noticed, too, and this is a gripe, and I couldn't really go specifics. Well, I did, but, like, it was the helmet on, and then it's just the mouth.
Yeah, it was
the CG was a little jarring.
It was a little Will Smith's face on not his genie body.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean?
Wow, that's a nice tie-in.
It's so weird.
Another problem that I had is they hyped the shit. Well, not really hyped it, but they were like... Ronan the Accuser, before he becomes the Accuser, is going to be in this movie. 2 hologram sequences, 2-3 minutes on screen, actually being on screen, and
I don't even think it was that. I think
he just stands
in between
still.
cuts. I think it was a full minute of cutting back and forth.
He just stands there.
Yeah.
He's like, but then
then she flies up and she's like swinging her cock around, and he's like, "Okay, we gotta go."
Now, do you think? I think the second movie is going to be her versus the Kree, like straight on Kree in the second movie.
Yeah.
I really hope that's where Ronan comes into play, and we actually get Ronan in the movie.
When it gets to the first Guardians movie, the Kree are pretty much all but done, right? So I
think so.
She's like Ronan and a handful of others. Like they call him a fanatic, and like they say he's insane. Like he's fighting for something that they've already lost. I think.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure she goes and spends the next 20 years just fucking them up.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, she has the ability. I'm guessing she discovers more of her powers that way. And I'm curious to know where she got her new suit from. Because that's a new suit.
Also, something else about it. They've hyped that she is the most powerful character in the MCU, right? Not necessarily in the comics, but in the movies.
That they said that she is. My guess is we'll see more of that in Endgame, because this was... Like essentially, like that thing on the back of her neck was really
like an inhibitor.
Yeah.
And she is very powerful in this, but I didn't get the sense that she is the most powerful. Like in Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
Thor takes the light of a dying star to the chest and just walks it off. I didn't get the sense that she could do anything like that. Like I think that would just fucking kill her.
I think Endgame's going to be revealed because they've said that she's going to be the lead of Phase 4 or the lead of the next movies, like where she's going to be the focus or the person leading the forefront. Right. So I think we're going to see in Endgame how powerful she is. I don't know what that means.
Well, essentially in the comics, as far as I know, she is practically unbeatable.
Yeah. Like
you have to be really sly and tricky. Like you can't just 1v1 her and expect to win.
Yeah.
Save for Squirrel Girl, who is confirmed. Did you know this? She is confirmed the most powerful. No one in the Marvel Comics can beat Squirrel Girl. She beat Thanos full gauntlet by herself. It's mostly played as a joke. But
oh god.
Yeah,
I don't believe that. No.
It's true. Confirmed.
It's stupid.
It's funny.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Because she's mostly a Howard the Duck as like gag character, so it's played for laughs. It's not like she never comes in and solves any real problems. It's just she'll happen to run into Thanos or Ego or Galactus or whatever, and through nonsense bullshit she'll win no problem.
Nonsense bullshit. But yeah, I mean overall I think the film had its faults, but I really overall just enjoyed what it was. Yes. I think the thing is, and you brought this up about co-directors.
Yeah.
The co-directors, I think, were a little inexperienced in places, and I think the editing shows that too, because I feel like
it was a bit choppy in certain parts.
And I feel like that's due to them probably not like getting shots that they could really use.
Right. And it was they didn't happen so frequently that it was really something I thought about. But if you notice in the trailers, like every 10 seconds it's the same shot of her standing up and like rising up as a strong woman. Someone I think it was Jeremy Johns, in fact, there's 30 seconds worth of footage from the trailers of just her in different shots standing up.
Yeah.
And he put The Real Slim Shady by Eminem over
Real
the top.
Slim Shady, yeah. I think in the movie, in the TV spots, I understand why they did it.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is I understand that some people, the trailers were very, very like Supergirl-esque overt levels of, look, this is a strong and powerful woman, which I'm fine with, but I get that could bother people. What I'm saying is that in the movie itself, it's not really that. Like, it's not.
She keeps getting back up.
Yes. Like in the trailer, it was telling you that she was strong. In the movie, it shows you that she's strong.
Yeah, and I think the scene where we see different timelines of her getting up like at different ages.
Which, by the way, that go-kart crash should have fucking killed her.
Yeah,
that looked so violent. Oh my!
I was like, this is over the top.
Yeah,
a little bit.
But she's fine. She's like a busted lip and great knee, I think.
Yeah. I really wish they would have used Coulson more.
Yeah, I think he only had like between 5 and 10 minutes of screen time, right?
Yeah, and they promoted like Phil Coulson's returning to the movies finally, and
but
he's barely in it.
He didn't really do anything cool. He made a couple of jokes. That's something else. A lot of times the humor didn't really get me.
Yeah.
Like in certain other Marvel movies, a lot of Thor Ragnarok, I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
But in this, I'd say 8 out of 10 jokes, as opposed to a proper laugh. It was just kind of like a.
Well, for me, it's like the theater I was in. I would say 90% of the jokes worked for the audience, but there were some where, like the Fury line, like your name, you have 3 names. Like, no, I'm just Fury. What does your mom call you? Fury. What do your kids call you? If I have them, Fury. The joke didn't really land in theaters.
Yeah,
it didn't really land in my.
I think
theater.
it was the. What's I guess the pacing of the joke, like
I guess.
For me, and I'm assuming for others, the punchlines weren't snappy enough, you know?
Yeah.
Like
it might be due to editing too.
Yeah. Like a lot of Iron Man makes me laugh the most out of all the Marvel MCU characters. And that's because his jokes are very sharp, they're very dry, they're witty, and they're fast.
Yeah.
Like he's just joke. Whereas in this, it was like a solid minute of build up to a punchline that's not that great. Yeah. You know.
Anything else about Captain Marvel specifically? There was just a lot in this movie that I feel like some of the storylines just weren't fleshed out like they could have been.
Overall, I did enjoy it. It's a fun movie. I recommend you go see it.
Yeah.
But it's not top tier Marvel to me. You know, it's not Winter Soldier. It's not Infinity War. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not the first Iron Man, you know, as an origin. I'd say it's elevated above, like you've got your Thor: The Dark Worlds and Iron Man 2 and Ant-Man was kind of for me. Yeah. It's above those, but it's not in that ranking of really great Marvel movies for me, you know.
Yeah, and I think
it's a B, whereas I wish it had been an A+.
I gave it about 7.5 or 8, depending. But I think it could be a lot better. But I think what they're going to do is they're definitely going to have to improve on the sequel.
Yes,
and I think Endgame's going to hopefully bring more people over, because even though the audience for the most part I've seen online are giving it pretty positive reviews, there's people that are really disappointed with it.
Yeah.
So
something else, I almost don't even want to say this. I like Brie Larson a lot, and she has given some phenomenal performances in other things. What's the Room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking amazing in that. I wouldn't, off the top of my head, be able to tell you who, but I feel like another actress could have played this character and it wouldn't have changed anything.
I think the thing is, though, is that I said it too, that I think some of the line delivery was off. I think it's due to editing. Yeah. Some of how it's written, and I think they used takes that were probably not the best.
There was, in a few spots, there was some obvious ADR that you could see.
And I didn't notice any ADR, but I mean, I could just tell that either Brie was like, either she just didn't really know what to do at a line, or they used a take that just wasn't that good.
And, yeah, also, and this is nothing against Brie Larson, but her voice doesn't really match the character to me. Like, she doesn't... She has a nice voice, if that makes any sense, but it's not a... how do I put this? It's not...
Powerful.
Yes, it's not... Her voice isn't powerful. Like, if say... It's a good example. Say, I don't know, Ruby Rose is Batwoman, right? Yeah. She tells you to freeze, you're gonna fucking freeze. Yeah. If Brie Larson goes, stop right there, I'm just gonna be like, what the fuck? No, bye. You know? Understandable. Like, she didn't have that commanding presence that's what supposedly is the most powerful character in this universe. Yeah. Should have, you know. And maybe that's something she can improve on later on down the line, but for this one, it didn't really work too well for me.
Gotcha. All right, well, I think that's the podcast.
Yeah, that's about it.
We covered a lot.
Yeah.
Tired as hell.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll be back in, I guess, 2 weeks.
Hopefully, for once, this will be bi-weekly.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see. We have schedules. We have other things going on. It is what it is. But we hope you guys enjoyed this. I think it's the longest one we've done. I think.
Yeah, it seems like they get about 10 minutes longer each time.
So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it.
And now that we have 3, we might be able to get this on iTunes soon.
Hopefully.
So you can listen to it on the go. Ooh.
Wow, he almost died there again. He died. You died in the second one.
Yeah.
Like all the time with the coughs. Now you're dying from something else.
I'm just I'm not a healthy man.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
I just saluted and you can't see me. Why did I do that?